This is a true story. A story about a girl who felt completely lost in life until a dog taught her what love really means. It is the year 2001. We are in Valley Cottage, New York. A young woman named Megan Leavey is sitting alone, staring at the city around her. She has no job. She has no real connections with people. She feels invisible. She watches some men in military uniforms walk into a building nearby, and something stirs inside her. Megan has been feeling like her life has no meaning, especially after the death of her best friend. That loss broke something in her, and she knows that if she stays in this city, nothing will change. So one morning, Megan wakes up, gets out of bed, and makes a decision. She goes straight to the airport, buys a ticket, and gets on a plane. She is done with the life she had. She is going to start over. Megan arrives at a military boot camp. The moment she steps off the vehicle, soldiers start shouting at her and the other recruits. They are told to move fast, stand straight, and listen carefully. The instructors make it very clear, the training ahead will be brutal. They are here to become Marines, and it will not be easy. And it isn't. Megan struggles from the very beginning. The obstacle courses push her body to its limits. Multiple drill sergeants shout in her face and tell her she is useless. They say she doesn't have what it takes. But Megan keeps going. She doesn't quit. She pushes through every single day, even when it feels impossible. And eventually she makes it to graduation day. The ceremony is a proud moment, but it is also a lonely one. All around her, other new Marines are hugging their families and taking photos. Megan stands alone. There is no one there for her. And then she sees them, her mom Jackie and Jackie's boyfriend Jim walking toward her. For a brief second, Megan feels something warm, but that feeling disappears quickly. When they all go to a bar to celebrate, Jackie starts asking Megan about her father, specifically about whether he has left anything for her in his will. Megan realizes her own mother came not to celebrate her achievement, but to ask about money. She says goodbye and walks out of the bar alone. Megan reports to the San Diego County base, where the Master Sergeant addresses the patrol corps and officially welcomes Megan and two other new recruits. The women decide to go out that night to celebrate. They drink, laugh, and make noise as they leave the bar. Megan steps behind a bush on the side of the road to use the bathroom. A soldier on patrol catches her. The next morning, Megan stands in front of her Master Sergeant. He is furious. He tells her she is this close to being thrown out of the Corps. He warns her not to embarrass the Marines ever again. Then, instead of sending her back to regular duty, he takes her somewhere unexpected, the military working dog unit. This is where the dogs that assist soldiers in the field are trained and kept. The Master Sergeant places Megan under the supervision of Gunny Martin for the week and walks away. Megan is told to clean the kennels. It is not a glamorous job. As she walks through the kennels, she sees a dog named Rex. He is big, powerful, and clearly not friendly. She tries to approach him gently. Rex starts barking at her with intense aggression. Gunny pulls her away and tells her she is needed outside. Outside, the officers are using Megan as a decoy to train their dogs. The idea is to teach the dogs how to attack on command and then stop when ordered. The first dog, named Cindy, performs perfectly. Megan watches with nervous eyes as they bring Rex forward. She knows what is coming. The officer releases Rex, but Rex doesn't follow the rules. He ignores the protective suit Megan is wearing and bites her directly on the backside, not exactly how she planned to spend her first week. That evening, Megan goes back to Rex's kennel on her own. She stands in front of him and tells him quietly that she is not afraid of him. Gunny sees her there. Megan takes the chance and asks him what she needs to do to become a dog handler. Gunny doesn't encourage her, but he gives her a straight answer. She needs to get perfect scores on the upcoming exams. Megan takes that as her goal. She begins training hard every day. Gunny watches her from a distance, but says nothing. When Megan aces her exam and shows him the result, she asks if she can have a dog to handle. Gunny says no. Instead, he hands her a tin can. Other officers laugh as she trains with it, but Megan keeps going without complaint. Then everything changes. The officers line up in formation as Gunny introduces a guest speaker, Sergeant Andrew Dean, an experienced Marine who has just returned from Iraq. Andrew speaks bluntly. He tells them that everything they have learned in training will not be enough in Iraq. They will have to be smarter, faster, and more aware of everything around them. His words land heavily on the room. Training continues. A handler named Walters is assigned to Rex, but Rex refuses to listen to him. During one session, Rex bites Walters so badly that he breaks several bones in his hand. Gunny tells Walters he cannot deploy because of the injury. Then Gunny does something that shocks the room. He hands Rex over to Megan. Walters is furious. He storms out. Megan goes to Rex's kennel and sits with him. She offers him food slowly and carefully. Rex stares at her. Then, step by step, he begins to respond. He follows her instructions. He accepts her. Megan smiles for the first time in a long time. Andrew helps Megan and the other handlers train their dogs on the field. He pulls Megan aside at one point and tells her something important. Rex is only confident when she is confident. If she doubts herself, he will feel it. She has to believe in herself first. Megan takes Rex to the base veterinarian for a checkup. The vet says Rex is the most aggressive dog she has ever observed. Megan doesn't argue. She goes back to his kennel and starts learning how to wrap a bandage around his leg. Walters appears at the kennel door. He doesn't say much, just asks her not to let Rex get killed out there. It is the closest thing to a peace offering he can offer. That night, Megan brings Rex into her room. She sits beside him in the quiet and tells him they will be deployed the next day. The operation will last more than 6 months. She whispers to him that she doesn't know if she is ready, but she goes anyway. Deployment day arrives. Soldiers prepare to board the plane. Andrew finds Megan in the crowd and tells her that being nervous is completely normal. He tells her to come back safely. She nods and gets on the plane. Rex barks nervously during the flight. Megan sits right beside him the entire time, talking to him softly until he calms down. When they land, Megan is assigned to a different camp from some of the others. She loads into a vehicle with Rex and heads to Camp Red in the Anbar province. Because she is the only woman at the camp, she is given her own room. That first night, she lies in bed and is startled awake by loud explosions outside. The next morning, she walks outside and meets a handler named Matt Morales, who is training his dog. Matt sees the look on her face and tells her not to worry. Those were outgoing explosions, not incoming. They are safe. Megan puts on her gear and gets moving. Matt formally introduces himself and his dog, Chico. They head together to Staff Sergeant Jarvis's office, where he tells them they will be assigned to a checkpoint until more units arrive. At the checkpoint, Matt gives Megan a quick lesson on how to stay alive. He tells her to be careful because enemy fighters have placed a bounty specifically on female dog handlers. Megan listens carefully. When an officer asks her to use Rex to search a suspicious vehicle, she does it well. A young local boy approaches and asks what the dog's name is. Megan tells him without thinking. Matt scolds her later. He says she should never tell anyone Rex's name, ever. It is a safety rule she will not forget again. That night, back at camp, Megan sits with Rex and tells him they will get better at this together. The following day, an officer knocks on Megan's door and tells her to gear up for a mission. She asks why she was chosen. He says simply that there is no one else available. They drive to the site of a recent bombing where several soldiers were killed. Megan follows the team into a local man's house. Rex begins sniffing around the rooms carefully. He climbs up near some carpets on the wall and then sits, which is his signal. Something is here. The soldiers pull the carpet off the wall and find a hidden compartment packed with weapons. They arrest the man and take the guns. Matt finds Megan afterward and tells her she did a good job. The officers go out that evening and Megan and Matt play cards together while Rex watches them. Matt asks why she joined the military. Megan talks about her best friend Jess, who died from a drug overdose. She says she wanted her life to mean something after that. Then she says goodnight and goes to sleep. The dog handlers go out again the next day. Megan and Rex locate several explosive devices, and they do it well. Later, another operation comes up, but there is only room for one dog team. The officer in charge picks Megan and Rex. They drive out to a deserted road. Megan and Rex step out and start working. They detect multiple explosives buried in the ground and carefully mark them, but then a car comes speeding toward them from down the road. The soldiers brace. The car stops at a distance. The driver gets out and immediately lies face down on the ground with his hands visible. The soldiers rush to him. They detain him and tell Megan to inspect the car. She and Rex approach it slowly, and then, without any warning, an explosion goes off right beside them. The blast throws both Megan and Rex off their feet. The medic runs to them immediately. Both are injured. The commanding officer demands to know why Rex didn't detect the explosive. One of the soldiers pulls a wire from the ground. The bomb was detonated manually from a distance. Someone was watching and set it off on purpose. The team traces the wire back to a group of abandoned buildings nearby. They call for another dog handler to come, but Megan refuses to wait. She tells them there is not enough time. She says she is okay. She puts her gear back on. The team gets into position. Megan leads them through the open field. Rex sniffs carefully through the dirt. They detect mines and move around them. Slowly, they reach the buildings and break in. Inside, Megan leads the way. Rex checks every room. The building turns out to be an abandoned school, quiet, empty, and dusty. They don't find anyone. They make their way up to the roof. On the roof, soldiers find fresh evidence. Leftover explosive materials. The enemy was just here. They just missed them. Rex starts barking. The soldiers ask what is wrong with him. A moment later, a figure appears in the distance and fires an RPG directly at them. Rex had sensed it coming. The soldier who would have been hit is saved because Rex warned them in time. A firefight breaks out. Reinforcements are called in. The team fights their way out of the building, covering each other as they move. Megan and Rex reach the truck and try to climb in. Another explosion goes off nearby and knocks them back. They get up and try again. This time they make it inside and the vehicle speeds away. Back at camp, a helicopter is waiting for Megan. Her injuries are serious enough that she needs to be taken to a hospital. She has no choice. She hands Rex's leash to Matt. Matt looks her in the eyes and promises to take care of him. He tells her everything will be fine. Megan gets into the helicopter, and as it rises into the air, she can hear Rex barking below. Megan wakes up in a hospital bed. A doctor tells her she will be out of service for 3 weeks. She immediately asks about Rex. The doctor tells her she can see him when she returns to the field. When Megan leaves the hospital, she finds her father waiting outside. He takes off his hat and gives her a slow, respectful salute, and then pulls her into a hug. He tells her she looks good. They get in the car. He mentions he has to work on Christmas. Megan says she understands. He drops her at her mother's house. She tries to get updates on Rex, but the person she contacts says they will let her know when they have news. Weeks pass with no word. Megan returns to Camp Pendleton. She runs into Andrew, who has also just come back from the field. Then she gets the news she has been waiting for. Rex has arrived back at the base. She runs outside to find him. He is still recovering from injuries, just like her. They are both placed under medical care together, and somehow that feels right. Matt shows up at the base and brings flowers to Megan's room. They spend time together and grow closer. Rex, for his part, quietly climbs off the bed and goes into his cage to give them space. Later, Megan talks about her physical therapy and how her body still aches from the explosion. Matt gives her a gentle massage and calls her a war hero. Then comes devastating news. Gunny gathers the soldiers and informs them that Andrew, the sergeant who had spoken to them before deployment, the one who told Megan to come home safe, was killed by a bomber. His dog, Bruno, survived, but Bruno is now unresponsive and shut down from grief. Megan watches them try to work with Bruno. He won't react to anything. She resumes training with Rex, but he is not fully ready either. That night, she sits with him and makes him a promise. She is not going to leave him behind. She wants to adopt Rex when his service ends and bring him home with her. She talks to Gunny about it. He agrees to help her make it happen. When she tells Matt about her plan that night, she also finds out that he has re-enlisted. She tells him honestly that this is a problem for her. The distance between them begins to grow. Megan takes Rex to the vet for a checkup required for his adoption paperwork. During the examination, the vet touches Rex near one of his injuries, and Rex reacts sharply. The vet immediately marks him as unadoptable in his file. Megan tries to explain. She tells the vet that Rex only reacted because that spot hurts him. It is not a behavior problem, it is pain. The vet ignores her and walks away. Time passes. Then Megan finds out the worst possible news. Rex is being redeployed. He is going back to Iraq without her. She goes to Gunny and begs him to do something. He looks at her with tired eyes and tells her there is nothing he can do. The vet's report is on record. His hands are tied, but he offers to drive her to say goodbye to Rex. Megan walks into Rex's kennel for what she believes is the last time. She kneels down beside him and cries. She tells him she is sorry. She tells him she tried. She drives off the base in tears and goes back to her mother's house. The next morning, Jackie wakes her up excitedly and shows her a new puppy. She thinks it will help Megan feel better. Megan gets upset immediately. She doesn't want a replacement. She doesn't want a new dog. She wants Rex. She says harsh words. Jackie yells back. Megan packs her bags and moves in with her father. She doesn't explain any of it to him that night. Later, his car alarm goes off in the middle of the night. Megan jolts awake in a panic. Her body is still wired from the war. She screams at her father not to go near the car. He walks to her calmly and talks her down. He tells her quietly that it is just the alarm. She is home. She is safe. A full year goes by. Megan is attending therapy sessions. She sits in the therapist's chair and talks about Rex. She says she thinks about him all the time. She wonders what he is doing. She wonders if he is okay. She starts to cry as she says that Rex tried to teach her what love really is, and she is grateful to him for that. She goes home after the session and finds her father Bob sitting on her bed. He has a gift from Matt with him. Bob looks at his daughter and speaks to her honestly. He tells her he knows what it feels like to lose everything, but he tells her she has to keep living. She has to keep fighting until the very end. Something in Megan shifts. She wipes her eyes and picks up the phone. She starts making calls, one after another, trying to track down Rex and find out what happened to him. Eventually, she gets a call from a man named Foreign. He tells her that Rex is about to retire from service and that Rex would love to see her. Megan's heart lifts. She asks if Rex has been put up for adoption. Foreign pauses and tells her the paperwork still says Rex is unadoptable. Then he adds one more thing. Rex is sick. If she wants to do something, she needs to move fast. Megan goes to work. She contacts every veteran service she can find. She writes letters, she makes calls, and then she goes even further. She arranges a meeting with Senator Schumer. She sits down with the senator and explains everything. She tells him about Rex, about her service, about the vet's report, and about how unfair it all is. The senator listens. He gets involved. Megan also starts a public petition and asks people to sign it. She teaches her friend Finn how to explain the cause to strangers. She goes on television and speaks directly into the camera about Rex and what he means to her. She is emotional, real, and completely honest. The story goes viral. Gunny reads the newspaper one morning and sees Megan's face on the front page. News channels pick it up one after another. People all across the country begin signing her petition. Within a short time, she collects 22,000 signatures. The day of Rex's retirement ceremony arrives. Megan drives to the base. The officer at the gate tells her to head straight to the field. She parks and starts walking, and then someone calls her name. She turns around. It is Matt. He is smiling. He calls her a famous war veteran. He tells her he came back for the ceremony and that he will retire himself after one more deployment. Megan tells him she is trying to bring Rex home. It is Rex's retirement day, too. She apologizes to Matt for losing touch. He tells her gently that it simply wasn't their time. And then, with a calm and steady voice, he tells her something that stops her in her tracks. She rattled every chain of command. She fought hard, and it worked. Rex is coming home with her. Megan doesn't wait another second. She runs to the field where the retiring dogs are gathered. She sees a soldier walking with Rex. She calls his name. Rex stops. His head turns, and then he runs, straight to her, as fast as his legs will carry him. They crash together in the middle of the field and hold on. After everything they went through, after all the time apart, they are finally together again. Megan takes Rex home. She plays with him, feeds him, and spends every moment making up for the time they lost. Rex runs around the house like he owns it. Not long after, on Veterans Day, Megan and Rex are invited as guests of honor to a special ceremony. They walk together through a hallway toward the entrance, both of them a little nervous, just like always. The announcer's voice fills the stadium as they step out onto the field. The crowd cheers loudly. Officers step forward to greet them. An officer takes the microphone and speaks about everything Megan and Rex accomplished together in Iraq. The lives they saved, the dangers they faced, the bravery they showed. Megan looks into the crowd and sees Bob and Jackie sitting together, watching her. And on the large screen above the field, she sees Matt and his unit watching live from Afghanistan. They are all there for her in one way or another. The screen then fills with photographs, Megan and Rex on duty side by side, doing the work they were meant to do together. Rex lived with Megan for the rest of his life. He passed away in 2012. Today, Megan Leavey works as a veterinary technician in New Jersey. She never forgot what Rex gave her, a sense of purpose, a reason to keep going, and the truest kind of love she had ever known.